In this video, I'll be installing a backup camera on a 2014 Chevy Silverado. It doesn't have any of the stuff capable of having a backup camera, so that is why I'm running my own screen. Now I'll just give you a quick close-up of this backup camera system that I'm plugging in. There's the camera. It's all OEM. And I'm just gonna remove all of these T15 Torx bits out of the bed. Sometimes there's glue and something that's holding Velcro or something that holds on this plate. Pull it off. Now that the latch system is accessible, you're going to want to spin these two clips and just pull up on the metal bar and it'll come right out of both sides. And now with those removed, you'll just have to remove these two 10mm bolts. Now hold on to the latch through the back. There's two pins back here. You'll see them, you just push them in and the latch will fall out through the back. Just like that. Now that you have it removed, all you want to do is take out your key roller. And to do that, you just have to remove this clip. Now the clip is removed and the roller will just come right out. Now everything that you need is removed. Now with the new latch, you'll just remove the plastic clip that's installed on it. And you'll want to drop in your roller. Make sure it's inside the groove. And now all you gotta do is push your clip back on. Now take a moment and check and make sure it works and locks and unlocks this with your key before you install it. Now that you've checked it with your key and you know for sure it works, you'll just put it in from the bottom. Now the top comes in and reinstall these tabs. On the new Silverados, there's normally always a pre-drilled hole here in the middle of the tailgate and the bed, and that's where you're gonna run your backup wire. Now I just take a jimmy and put a little bit of tape on the end of it, and I tape on the connector wire. Not too much, just enough to hold it on. And I'll just use this to get it to go through, just like that. Plug in the wire harness, feed the wires down to the bottom of the truck, and they'll come out down by the spare tire. Alright, so down underneath the truck, I have the two wires from the backup camera. This is aside from what plugs into the screen. Now these are made to just go to your running lights or your backup lights or whatever. However, I want my backup camera to have power all time, not just in reverse or when the running lights are on. So I'm going to use one of these clips where you just put the one wire through and you put the other wire through and you just close it, and this metal tab will then just cut into them both and complete the circuit. So I've now ran the wire with some slack in it all the way down the truck. That way when the truck flexes or anything like that, it will not grab or rip the wire. The wire came up through that, ran it underneath the brake booster, and now it's right here. Now I'm just going to run this wire through this hole and out to the side of the door. Ran through the hole of the fender, went down into the hole, and I purposely went in front of this so that way it didn't get caught up behind it. So now it'll hold tension, and now it comes out through the bottom. Now before we move to the interior, now's a good time to go inside and wash up and get a majority of the dirt off your hands so you don't move that into the interior and ruin your interior. Now to remove this panel, I use a plastic spatula. That way it won't harm the plastics because metal can scrape it, and I put a rag over it just for extra precaution. I first pull up on this bottom piece and then I just slide in
the spatula, and just like that.
You removed the plastic panel, and these are the metal tabs that hold it in. Here is the fuses you have. You read it sideways like this, and this little white piece is used to remove fuses. I'm gonna use fuse 36, which is a spare 15 amps, which is plenty enough for what I need. So I'm just gonna use this little tool. All you do is slide it onto the head of the fuse and just pinch and pull it out. I got this piece from AutoZone. It was like $7. It's very important. Splices off a fuse for other power, so you just plug your fuse into the top of it, which will still close the circuit like a normal fuse, but now you can run power to another accessory such as our screen for the backup camera. You want it to still run through the path of the fuse, so you want to use a multimeter and check what side the power is at and where's the power going. So you want this line to be after the power. I've already done this and I know the power's on the right side, so I'm going to install this with the wire on the left side, so that way the power has to go through this fuse before it can enter this line. That way if something goes wrong down here, it'll blow the fuse and it won't ruin the circuit. Now that I have it plugged in with the fuse, I plugged it into the camera. Here's the camera, here's the view. But now I'm just gonna take all these wires and zip tie them up in place right here. I'm just gonna let this one wire run up to the screen so it look just like this. You have your backup camera. Now that I've got the camera installed and in position, I just come back here and tweak the camera a little bit to however I like it. I put the plate back on.